Okay, exercise 5.04, and we're going to be doing question number 8. So number 8 says two numbers have a difference of 3. One is x and the other is x plus 3. So when it says they have a difference of 3, if one's x plus 3 and the other is x, and I subtract them, then let's move the bracket. So I'm going to end up with x plus 3 minus x. Well, x minus x means that I've got 3 left over. So the difference is 3. That confirms that. So I've got an x and I've got another one called x plus 3. I've got to form a quadratic to solve and find the two numbers if the sum of their squares is 29. Sum of their squares. So let's take a look at how that's going to play out. So first of all, I'm going to state the question. Here it is. So I'll put 5.04. And it's going to be question 8. And it's got x, and it's going to have the sum of their squares is 29. So I've got x, and I'm going to make it squared. And I've got x plus 3, and I'm going to make it squared. And of course, it's the sum of their squares, so it's this one squared plus this one squared. And that's all equal to 29. All right, so let's see how that all plays out. So I'm going to expand all this out so I can have x squared plus, well, this is going to be x plus 3, and that all equals 29. I should try and keep those equals under each other. I haven't done that so far, so I'll put that implies that we've got x squared plus, well, x times x is x squared. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3x and 3x, what, plus 3x plus 3x all equals 29. Well, that implies that x squared plus, and this time I'll sort this out, I got x squared plus, this is 6x plus 9 is 29, and this time I'm going to subtract 29 from both sides. Now, the reason I want to do that is because the question says I need and solve it. It says solve it. So I've got to solve a quadratic, I make them equal to 0. So 29 minus 29 is 0. 9 minus 29 is going to be negative 20. And I've got an x squared, which is just going to be 2x squared plus 6x minus 20 equals 0. I could have an implies here, by the way, as well. It doesn't really matter. I'm noticing that everything's divisible by 2. So if I divide everything by 2, I'm going to divide everything on this side by 2, and divide everything on this side by 2. So I'm just going to divide by 2, divide by 2. So this becomes x squared plus 3x, minus 10 is equal to 0. So I'm wanting, now I can go ahead and factorize this. Let's have a look. So factors of 10, here we go. Factors of 10, which are 1 and 10 and 2 and 5. And we're wanting something that adds or subtracts together to give a plus 3. Well, these will add or subtract together to give a plus 3. So I've got an x and an x. Signs are different. So I put a minus and a plus. Does not matter which order. And the biggest one I notice is going to be positive. Which is the positive? Here's positive. I'm going to put the biggest number by the positive. Which is the biggest number? Oh, 5 is the biggest number. I'll put the 5 here and the 2 over here. So now I'm ready to write my solution. So if x minus 2 times x plus 5 is 0, then we could say either x minus 2 is 0 or x plus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore, we can say that x is equal to, and of course, x would have to be negative 5 here, or x would have to be a 2 if this was going to all be 0. So I'll put a 2, and I'll rewrite it as, therefore, x is an element of the set of negative 5, 2, close braces. And there we have it. That's my answer. So that's how I would go ahead and do that one.